Hey guys, wanted to make a video for those of you who might want to get into the adventure bike fad that's been going crazy lately. A lot of manufacturers are making adventure bikes now. KTM, Honda's got the Africa Twin. Pretty much everyone, Suzuki, Kawasaki, all have their versions. I really like the adventure bike style of riding. I live in a rural area. I'm about 2 miles down a back road, and I have hundreds of miles of back roads behind me that are really scenic and nice to ride on. So I wanted a bike that was capable of that. I've had a few different enduro bikes, like an XR 650L, an XR 650R. And while they were great bikes, they did struggle a little bit on the road. Anytime you had to go further than 10 miles on a paved road, they were a little buzzy and, vibrated a lot, and just weren't that comfortable for longer rides. So I decided to get a sport touring style bike that was perfectly at home on the road, and then make some modifications on a budget, because I didn't want to put a ton of money into it. To make it a little more off-road / gravel road friendly. So that's what I did, and I'm still making modifications to it as I go, but I wanted to let you know what I got so far, and maybe somebody out there is interested in doing something similar and could get some help from the video. So first thing you need to address is tires. This is a Yamaha FC6, the 2007 model. Came with normal street tires on it, or I guess you could call them sport touring tires, but they're very street oriented, not much tread at all, and really struggled on any kind of gravel or anything loose whatsoever. I decided to go with Shinko E705 tires. As you can see there, I got about 1,000 miles on these so far, and they've been awesome tires. They're perfectly at home on the pavement. You get a little vibration at low speed, but you adjust to it really quickly and you don't even notice it after a while. And on any type of gravel, they do really well. Anything loose like sand or mud, they struggle a little bit on, just because they don't have that knobby pattern that you see on some of the more aggressive tires. But for my purposes, they've been awesome. One thing I added to the tires after I installed them was something called Ride-On. There's a lot of information on YouTube about Ride-On and how it works, but essentially it's just a liquid, like a semi-liquid paste type material that you put into your tire. And as you ride and the tire rotates, it spins around, coats the outside of the tire, and acts as like a self-balancer. So I can't recommend that product highly enough. It's been great. It really smoothed out that low speed vibration and made the bike much smoother at speed as well. Another thing which I would have done to this bike even if I wasn't adventure riding it is a taller windscreen. This is a Poog windscreen. It's a 2-inch taller than stock. Helps a lot with wind buffeting, and just a great windshield overall. Stock windshield was much too short, kind of directed the air right to your head. So you get a lot of buffeting and a lot of head pressure on longer rides, pushing your neck back. So another thing that I would say is key to making the bike more comfortable for this type of riding is different bars. I wanted bars that were wider and taller than the stockers. I went with Pro Taper. These are the Raptor Bend, so they're actually ATV handlebars. But they're about 4 inches wider than stock and about 2 inches taller, so a much more comfortable seating position. You get a lot more leverage on the bars. It also allows you to stand up if you have to get over bumps or obstacles, or just take some of the shock when you hit a big bump. You can stand up so you're not taking it through your rear end. So definitely recommend those. Renthal has comparable bars, so if you prefer a different brand, just check the bend and get the bend you want. This is actually my second set. I tried another bend first, and didn't like it as much as these, so highly recommend those. I got one of these Tech mounts. That's the brand name. It's a spring-loaded cell phone holder. You can see you put your phone in there and then it clamps down on it. I got this one after I had a ram mount that on some of the bumpier roads I noticed my phone kind of wanting to slide out of it. So I tried the Tech mount based on a recommendation from a friend, and it's rock solid. Like, your phone does not move no matter what kind of terrain you're going over. So I love that. One other comment on the bars. You may have a little trouble with your cables because you're pushing your controls outboard and up. So check the slack of your cables and see how much you have before you go and order bars. I'm right at the limit of my throttle cables, so when I have the bars turned all the way to the right, you know, my cables are taut. They're not in danger of breaking or anything, but yeah, I'm right at the limit of where I can go with these bars, so be aware of that as well. Third thing was storage. This bike didn't come with any storage whatsoever, so I had to add some baggage to it. I looked at some different tail bags, and they seemed kind of expensive to me for what they were, you know, in the $150 range. Same with saddle bags. They're just very expensive. So what I did was this is a tactical bag. I just got it from Amazon. I'm not sure of the brand, but if you just search tactical bag on Amazon, there's a million of them. It's got all the hooks and loops, and you know, it clips shut, so it's secure. Once you zip it up, you can clip that and then nothing can come open. Been a great bag. When you don't have anything in it, I have my water bottle in here right now, but when you don't have anything in it, it kind of squishes flat to the bike, so it's not very noticeable. But then when you do fill it, it puffs up quite a bit, and you can get quite a bit of stuff in there if you're determined to do so. Another thing as far as storage is the tank bag. This is a magnetic style, so these little flaps just have magnets in them. So the install is, you know, zero. You stick it on and fold those flaps out, and it sticks to your tank. It's got a little clear pocket for your cell phone if you want to use it in there, and then it's got just a center compartment and then a rain cover in this pocket at the front. So I haven't used the rain cover yet, but the rest of the bag works out great. So I modified the seat. I made a video about that as well. I'll post a link below. But the stock seat on this was very uncomfortable for me, and I bought a second stock pan and then built up my own seat and then had it covered in an upholsterer. So that has made a world of difference in terms of comfort and being able to ride a long time. So some of these changes I would have done regardless of if I wanted to adventure ride or not, but just wanted to make you aware of them. And that's about it as far as changes that I've made so far. I might upgrade the suspension a little bit over this winter. The suspension doesn't do very well when you're hitting huge bumps on back roads. You know, it tends to bottom out, particularly the front. So I might have those just revalved to be a little bit stiffer maybe, and they'll perform a little better off-road. Gearing as well. I don't go very fast. Like, this bike in stock trim is capable of 130, 140 miles an hour. I never go anywhere near that fast. So I geared it down. Let's see. I geared it down 2 teeth in the front. So it was a 16 tooth front sprocket, and I went down to a 14 tooth. I did have to take a link out of the chain, but that wasn't a big deal. And your low end is so much better. It's almost like riding a different bike. So I rarely go over 75 miles an hour, you know, anywhere. So the gearing doesn't really impact me on the top end, and it just gives you loads more bottom end. Like, this thing is a wheelie king. Like, it will wheelie on gravel. You know, not loose gravel, but hard pack, it'll wheelie. And it's just been a great addition to the bike. really wakes it up. Just trying to think anything else. Oh, I guess that's about it. I'll probably be doing some more things to it as time goes on. I really like the bike. I just wanted to make a video showing that you don't have to buy a $17,000 KTM if you want to get into adventure riding. You can get a bike cheaper. You know, this bike was valued at about probably $2,800, $3,000 on the high end. So I don't have very much into it. I probably have 35 into it total, and it's a very capable, you know, adventure style bike that I can take almost anywhere. And I have taken it some pretty fun places in terms of just trails that I found, and 2 tracks in the country that kind of go nowhere, and just a fun way to ride. I really like it a lot, and hopefully some of you can get some use out of this video. So thanks.